Oh, hi there. Welcome to Life Unscripted with Coach Kanye. I am Coach Kanye, and our topic today is, are they a narcissist or are you a people pleaser? That's a big one. Listen, I have been doing this work of coaching now for 5 years, and also which means I spend quite a bit of time on social media, which means I spend a lot of time on like therapy talk, social media, life coaching talk, mental health, narcissistic talk. And what I have found is that we are, as a society, so quick to call people narcissists. And it is something that I have really hesitated to call people. It's a word, it's a diagnosis, right? Narcissism is a diagnosis. And I'm like, we're just all diagnosing our exes with narcissism and narcissistic behavior and narcissistic tendencies. I listened to Dr. Raman, I'm going to put her name here because I don't want to butcher it. But for me, she does such an amazing work of talking about narcissism and narcissistic behavior. And she's a psychotherapist. As someone who works as a life coach with a bachelor's degree in psychology, master's degree in social sciences, and a certification in counseling and a certification in life coaching, with all of that, I still hesitate to call people a narcissist. And I was reflecting on this a few months ago, and the question that I found myself asking was, are these people narcissists or are we people pleasers? And the answer is both are true, right? But also, I'm probably a people pleaser, and I allowed someone to take advantage of me. And because I don't want to reflect on my people pleasing tendencies and my people pleasing behaviors, I label someone a narcissist. Stay with me, please. I almost said por favor. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Narcissists are good at targeting people that have the weak points that match their narcissism. If I fall into a relationship with a narcissist, the reflective work that I get to do is go, why was I prey? Why was I prey for this person? Why was I their target? What about me said this will work? I don't know if you can tell, but I am kind of struggling a little bit with this conversation with you because a lot of the times we struggle with that level of self-responsibility. And we struggle with self-responsibility because there is a sense of comfort that we get from being a victim. And when I say remove or ask you or invite you to remove the other person and look at yourself and go, were they really a narcissist or was I just moving in people pleasing ways? And when you can sit with the answer, and the answer is uncomfortable, and the answer is I am a people pleaser, I promise you that is where your healing is going to happen. I promise you that is where your growth is. I promise you that that perspective shift, that level of self-responsibility, that shit is where it's at. Because when you externalize your experience and go, oh, I'm fine, they're just a narcissist. I am a victim of a narcissist. Bro, you get to an age where you go, why was a narcissist attracted to me? Because there are people that subscribe while I laugh at myself for that. There are people where that person's, oh, that was a mouthful. There are people where that person's narcissism didn't work because they were not people pleasers, because they were good at setting boundaries. They were able to say, hey, you don't talk to me like that. You don't treat me like that. You don't fuck with me in those ways. Narcissists tend to look for people who they can use and abuse. And people pleasers, this is why this relationship is so common. The people pleaser and the narcissist. The people pleaser and the narcissist. Because as a people pleaser, you crave that connection. And in craving that connection, you are going to accept unacceptable behavior. And a lot of the time, the behavior that you get from a narcissist is unacceptable. The gaslighting is unacceptable. The broken promises is unacceptable. The making you feel small is unacceptable. The fucking with your self-worth is unacceptable. The emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, sexual abuse that you go through is unacceptable. And you get to a point where when it is you going, what about me? And the empowering part of that question is, how did I allow that person to treat me like that? What did I allow so that I never allow it again? And the reason I wanted to spend time asking you this question today is because there is no healing in your blame. I'm going to say that one more time so it really lands for you. There is no healing in your blame. There is no healing in the... If you notice, I rarely create content around what people have done to you, what people have said about you, how people treat you. I want you to be empowered to own your life and to own your story. And part of owning your life and owning your story is asking these very uncomfortable questions. It is uncomfortable to have to sit with, am I a people pleaser or was my ex a narcissist? Because I promise you there's probably someone else who is having a way different experience with your ex. Who's having a way different experience with an ex that you have labeled a narcissist. Where now they're in a relationship with someone that can set boundaries. They are now in a relationship with someone that can self-advocate. They're now in a relationship with someone who knows their own power. And that person is out there finding that power sexy. They're out there talking about how, yo, Bae tells me what's up and I fucking love that shit. She says no to me and I'm like, yeah, girl, say no one more time. But you've labeled that person a narcissist because taking responsibility for where you have to heal is a lot. Taking responsibility for the broken parts of you that allowed someone to treat you like that is a lot. And what's easier, what feels like you can handle, is to take that responsibility, is to take your life, to externalize it, package it really nicely, throw the blame at someone else. And I promise you, if you don't do that work of asking yourself these questions, you are going to get into another relationship. There'll also be a narcissist. You're going to get into another one. There'll also be a narcissist, because it's not about them anymore. It is about you doing the work that you need to do on yourself, just so in case that maybe they truly are a narcissist, you are not their target market. Target market. I think I like it. You are not the narcissist target market. You are not someone that narcissism works on. You are not someone that behavior works on, because you have done the work of overcoming your self-abandonment issues. You have done the work of overcoming your people-pleasing. You are now empowered to notice shit, and instead of eating it, you go, no, that stinks, I'm not going to eat it. Where red flags, I did a video the other day where I was like, noticing a red flag and then ignoring a red flag is a form of self-abandonment. You self-abandon when you look at a red flag and you say, because red flags, can we break it down? A red flag is you seeing something in someone that doesn't feel good to you. And red flags are not objective, they are subjective. Red flags are about you. What you see as a red flag might just be a turn on for me. I don't know. But you think, oh, I can work around that. you know what, it's not so bad. You know what, maybe I'm being too much. Maybe my standards are too high. Maybe my expectations are too high. Maybe my bar is too high. So you start to lower your bar and you start to lower your standards and you start to lower your values and you ignore red flags. And you know what this whole mess is? This whole mess is you abandoning yourself. And then in that process of self-abandoning and people-pleasing, best friends. They love each other. They are very, very connected with each other. And so you do all of this in the beginning of a relationship. And then you go, you know what? My ex was a narcissist. Are they, or did you just self-abandon? And now you realize that in that self-abandonment, you lost yourself. That's what happens. You self-abandon so much that you lose yourself. And instead of owning the places where you've lost yourself, you call someone a narcissist. Listen, hear me well. I am not saying they are not. They might as well be. They might as well be. But your issue is not whether they're a narcissist or not. Your issue is, where do I need to heal so that that does not work on me anymore? Where do I need to heal so that when I see a red flag, I look at it and I go, nope, that's not for me. That's not for me. That's behavior that I no longer accept. I'm not someone that looks at red flags and make excuses for them anymore. I'm not someone that looks at red flags and adjust myself because of them. I am now someone that looks at red flags and say, you know what? I'm sure someone will find that adorable. I don't. I'm sure someone will find that cute. I don't. I'm sure someone will not be bothered by that. I am. And that's the work of empowerment. And so before I end this video, please do subscribe. Thursday, we are doing this type of work. On Sundays, we're talking about traveling as a queer Black woman. But I want you to really reflect on yourself, love. Really reflect on yourself. Is my ex, is my partner, are they really narcissists, or am I a people pleaser? Am I someone who self-abandons in relationships? And I promise you, once you sit with that awareness, be intentional and take action. When you have sat with the awareness into healing, you are no longer going to be their target market. There's so much power in taking responsibility for your life. There's so much power in taking responsibility for your own actions. And I encourage you to do it. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. It's going to stretch you. But oh my God, it's going to help you grow. There is growth in that stretching. And when you do it, and when you do it right, hire a therapist, a coach, read books, do all the things, but be intentional so that you can own your life and own your power. This has been Life Unscripted with Coach Kanye. Until next time, but remember to be good and to be kind with yourself. Mwah.